In today's video, we're talking about behavior-driven development in Selenium automation testing. So BDD, behavior-driven development, is largely facilitated using a simple domain-specific language and using lateral language constructs. For example, English-like sentences that can express the behavior and the expected outcomes. Cucumber Gherkin keywords given, when, then, and are used to define the different criteria in BDD for Cucumber Gherkin. An example of a test case in Cucumber Gherkin, which is a feature file. This is shown here. So we have the scenario, which is search for golf by name. We have the keywords given, when, and then. Given I open the browser, when I go to this browser URL and I type in Tiger Golf in the search box, then I should see the golf course Tiger Golf. So this then is like a assert statement. So here is a flowchart on how this usually works. Usually we have some communication among QAs, developers, and clients, and then we create BDD test cases that are assembled as similar to English sentences. And then we run our Cucumber test, step definitions, and our Cypress project. So how to set up BDD in Cypress automation? You create a new project, you run commands from the terminal or command line. So these are the commands that we run. So you use make directory to create your automation test, npm init, npm install Cypress. You also do a bunch of other commands. For Cucumber, you can modify your Cypress plugins index, modify Cypress JSON file, and then that's basically the gist of the whole automation process. So the project structure, this is what the project structure looks like for an example project. Okay, so next I'm going to show you what you can run in your command prompt to start up your project and then begin coding your own project using Cucumber Gherkin. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a directory. So I'm going to go ahead and do make directory automation test. And I'm going to cd into that directory. After that, let's do npm init -y. And then I'm going to install Cypress. So I'm installing a specific version of Cypress that is compatible with Cucumber Gherkin. And then next, I'm going to do this. So this basically allows you to configure Cypress and run a bunch of different tests using Cypress to show that Cypress is working. So it gives you a pop-up window that looks like this. And you'll basically see a bunch of different different tests that you can run, and you can configure different things. But I'm going to go ahead and close this for now because we don't need this. And then I'm going to install Cucumber Gherkin. And once this is installed, we'll start modifying our own project. So we'll have to modify the index files, the Cypress JSON files, and a bunch of different test files as well. So I'll show that to you next. Okay, so next I'm going to show you some of the code that I've written. So I've already written the code, so I'm just going to go through the project and show you what changes that I've made. So the first thing that I did was I went into the integration folder right here, and I created a new folder, feature. And within feature, I created some different tests that we can run. So for golf, we have golfsteps.js, and then we have the golf.feature file that is associated with it. And then for login steps, we have this and the login feature file associated with that too. I'll go through that a little bit more in detail later. For the login, we also have a login JSON as well, which basically gives us the username and password and so on. I also created some other files as well. For example, we have under the plugins folder, we have this file right here, index.js. And basically for this one, there's a few things that I do. So the first thing I do is I require this package that I'm using right here, browserify preprocessor, And then I go here and I basically set up some of the options and some configurations for it as well. So I use these configurations right here. And then I use this require statement as well. So if you want to use the same configurations, you can go ahead and copy this, or you can just use your own configurations as well. This is not super important. After that, I also went under, and modified our cypress.json file. So that's this one right here. And in this file, I specified a few things. So the first thing is I specified the base URL. So this is the website that we'll be testing. I also specified that test files will be under the .feature file name. So these are these files right here. They have the extension .feature. And then I also specified that Cypress, Cucumber, Preprocessor, they'll use these configurations right here. So let me go ahead and show you the code for some of the test cases that we have. First one, I'll show you the login steps right here. So the login steps, this is what it looks like. Before we go into this, I want to show you the Cucumber Gherkin file. So for login.feature, I have it right here. So basically, this feature is basically the login feature, and I'm a user and I want to log into ADM Lucid. So that's the website. So I give the scenario, login CCL with username and password. Given I open the login page, when I enter the username and password, click on login, and then the login will fail. So we're testing for a failure of logging in. So going to the JavaScript file right here, this is how I use it. So I'm importing given, then, and when from Cucumber. And then with that, I'm going to each of my statements. So given, when, and then. So for given, I'm using I open the login page. And this is associated with this one over here. So given I open the login page and so on. And then when I enter username and password, click on login. And then right here, I'm basically importing the email, password, and I'm trying to click on login. And right here, I'm basically expecting it to fail. So I'm using then login will fail. And I'm checking this by using this XPath right here and checking that it'll basically return invalid login attempt. So I'm going to go ahead and run this and show you how it look like. So I'll run npx cypress open. And it'll basically create a pop-up. And basically it'll create something that looks like this. And you'll see that under the feature folder, under integration tests, that you have these. So I can click on login.feature and it'll run login.feature. So we see that it tries to log in and it fails. And you can see that we see it from this text right here, invalid login attempt right there. So that's that. Let's show you the next test. So for the next test, we have basically golf.feature. This one is a little bit more complex. This is the feature, golf. I'm a user and I want to search for golf course and select golf courses from countries. And so basically on our URL, we have this option to search for a golf course and also filter the option based off of country. So this first scenario outline is basically searching for the golf course. Given I open the golf page, when I enter golf course, and then this is a parameter name right here. And so for this parameter name, it can use any of the three right here. So golf vacations, Wadera's Country Club, Heritage Point Golf Course. Then I click on search and I validate returning correct golf course. And this is the golf name again, which is this parameters right here. We don't count the first one because that's the parameter name and right here. Next scenario is list country for golf courses. Given I open the golf page, when I select country name for golf courses, then I click on filter and I validate golf course in the country name right here. And we're using two countries, Mexico and Cuba. So go ahead and run this again. So this is the golf.feature. And we see that it's searching right here and then filtering right here for the country. So it's going through each of the search ones. So this is the first search example. So it has 3 search examples as we define in the feature file. And it'll go through each of them. And then it'll try to search for the country. And so this is searching for the country. And I see that there's an error that popped up right here. So I'm going to go ahead and fix this. So I identified there's a typo right here, and it wasn't able to identify the configurations for this when statement right here. So I changed it so that it matches it. So now when I select this golf course for golf courses, this should match right here when I select a country name for golf courses, and this should solve the error that we have. And oh yeah, so now it runs it and then it solves the error and we get what's expected from our results. So one thing that's very important is that your feature file should match your JavaScript description tag within right here. So yeah, so that's Cucumber Gherkin, and that's how you can run automation tests using Cucumber, using English-like language. If you found this video helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening.